Hey guys, welcome back to our conversations with the three Stooges. I don't know what we're gonna name this, but welcome back. It's been a minute since the last time we had one of these, and my wife told me not to slouch, so I'm trying not to slouch right now.
Oh yeah.
But we got
everyone.
We got Derrick over here, and we got Jay over here once again. And today we're just gonna have some conversations. This is literally not a single take, but we haven't rehearsed any of this stuff. I've just told them what the question is, and we're just gonna have a discussion, conversation regarding it. But before we start, you guys have anything to say?
I like long walks.
Has anyone messaged you about hooking them up at Honda since our last one? Other than my father-in-law.
I think that's the only one so far. But I've gotten inquiries.
That's good.
You.
A little bit actually. I'm like, hey.
I'm helping him out.
Cool. All right. So today, we got a pretty deep discussion. This conversation is pretty, I guess, pretty big at my home between my wife and I, and it's the conversation with work and rest and Sabbath. Are you a Sabbatarian, I guess is what they say. But the first question is, what is your greatest challenge in maintaining your own walk with God? So regarding work, with the work that God has given you, what's the greatest challenge in maintaining your own walk with God, being busy with work? And the follow-up question to that is, what have you found that helps you stay close to God? Anyone, if you guys can jump in.
It's really hard for me to process things after Thanksgiving, but I will try.
Okay, no worries.
I don't know. So the first one is basically, what was it? It was like, is work hindering you? Right?
Yeah, is work hindering you from your own walk with God? Like, God has given you work, and we are commanded, in the Bible, we're commanded to work. Like, that's one of the things that happened when Adam sinned is we've been cursed, and that curse is to work and toil the ground. And so obviously in modern age that may look different. We're not all farmers, and we're all not shepherds. But what does that look like to you? And has that really taken over your life, and taken over the walk with God? So like a conversation is, I work, and God has given me this job, and I want to do it to the best of my ability. And so I'm putting all of my effort into this, but then I neglect my own walk with God because I am working, and I want to make sure that I do the best that I can. I want to make sure that I, especially in the North American lifestyle is like you gotta hustle, especially go. Toronto, right? Like it's hard. Like it's expensive to live here. We need to hustle. You can't just have one job mentality. So how does that look like in your life? And do you guys struggle with that?
Well, I mean, I guess for me, like recently, because of COVID and everything, like it's been kind of crazy in the schools. So, like as you guys know, like usually, like I'm working late, or like I'm working like till like 11 or 12. So in a way, at some points, yes, like if I am really being honest, like it'll take over my whole entire life, because not only do people need to get paid, but I want to do the best, and I want to make sure that my work is done and it's done properly. But I try to here and there go early in the morning at least, like to work, and make sure that it's just me. Even if it's not, I'm there. I'm making sure that, like either there's a short devo, or like I'm just opening up like my Bible or anything like that. And I think one of the blessings that actually happened, which I contacted Derrick for because of the car, one of my cars. So we have two cars, right? So one's working, and like I make sure that Ellie takes that car, so that I want her to be safe and all that stuff. But there's a second car that I thought I was going to use come September, which is the Mazda. But like it's not working at all. So now I have to take the bus. I have to take the Go.
You take the bus to work?
She drops me off.
She drops you off?
And you
okay.
bus
and
home.
then I bus home.
You bus
Wow,
home.
okay.
But it's been a blessing, because since I'm busing home, I don't have to drive. I don't have to focus on the road. I'm just sitting there.
Now you have time.
And now I have time. Right? So I think because it's been so busy, right? Like at least that's the way I'm gonna look at how
Yeah,
God's
yeah.
been blessing that situation for me to come back and be like, you know what, spend some time with me, right? So
Okay.
yeah.
Work. That's all. That's all I do.
Yeah, like how
work.
many jobs now, right? Like
Yeah.
4 or
So
5?
you can already tell or assume what I struggle with is balance. You know, that balance. Having to work, as a mechanic, it's not stable. So when sometimes there's work, sometimes there's not. So if there is, then you kind of want to capitalize, try to work as much as you can, like you said, like you just gotta hustle, right? But so that's a struggle for me because it's not stable. There are times where that's all you think about. Like you wake up, it's like, okay, let's go hustle. I know it's gonna be busy today or something like that. So that's always a challenge for me because I tend to forget other things. Like I have other responsibilities, right? Should be have other priorities and stuff like that. But like in my mind, it's just like, okay, let's go to work and it's like let's hustle.
Do it.
Let's do
Get
it.
her done.
But to me personally, what helps that I find is to just pray before work. I park my car as I'm walking. I'm actually praying, and at times even if I'm early, I do my devo, like just daily bread. I do the daily devos in my car, and as I'm walking, I pray and just give thanks to God. And I don't know, it helps me, focus and not forget like why I have this job.
Yeah.
I mean,
The thing is, like, to me, like, I don't have a, I don't know.
Schedule?
It's not a schedule. It's like, but I don't have a problem with thinking about work or wanting to work all the time because there's so many verses in the Bible that says if you don't, you need, like, the man needs to work. Like we're all married. We're all married.
Provide.
You need to provide.
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah.
and that's what we need to do as a man.
Yeah.
And that is our role in the marriage and in the family terms, right? We need to be able to provide. And so I don't have a problem with needing to work, but I think it's when like there's no balance, like what you were saying, right? I know there was a time in my life when it's just like I don't want to work. Like I just want to do what I want to do is I just want to go to church. I just want to play in the band. I just want to go to youth, and then like I don't want to work. And so that's the other side. I guess that's not right because then we're not doing the thing that we're supposed to, which is work, right? So what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on someone who is not balanced but on that opposite? Do you think that that's wrong, or do you think
On
that
the other
that's
side, where like they don't want to work completely?
they don't want to work completely, or they don't think it's important? Do you think that is a slap in the face to God, or do you think that is you're not following God's call?
Well,
to you?
it like I don't know. For me, like it's really hard to even think about that. Like to think about the fact that I don't want to work. Like I can't. I don't know. I don't know. Right?
like being lazy, basically, or are you talking more like?
Because then
I don't need to work.
No, because then like I could say I don't need to work because God will provide. What do you say to that? What do you say to that? Like God will provide. God will put food on the table. If I feel that I'm called and I'm convicted not to work, what do you say to someone like that?
Well, you should not be not. You need to work, basically, right? That has been basically after the fall, we're supposed to toil, like you said.
yeah,
We're supposed to work. As a man, we are meant to work, right? Mm-hmm. We're supposed to provide, like you said. Mm-hmm. So if anybody says, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but if they say, don't, I'm convicted not to work, I think they really need to look at themselves and see where they are in their walk, because if they think not working is working or not working doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not. When we get to heaven, you're still working.
Yeah,
Believe it or not. Like I don't
end,
think people realize that fact that
it doesn't end.
You don't stop working. Once we get to heaven, we're continuing to work for Him still, right? Whether it's praising Him, whether it's doing something for Him, we're working. There's really no There's really no stopping that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, if someone says that, like they really have to like kind of evaluate themselves. Like, is that really what you're called to do? Like, you know?
Yeah. So my other question, I guess, is what do you think of the North American lifestyle of hustle? So there's a book out right now. There's two books. One is written by John Mark Comer, and it says The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. And John Bethke wrote another one, and it's called To Hell with the Hustle. Because of, they believe that hustle is a huge part in North American Christian lifestyle because we are expected to work because it's so fast paced over here. Like even in America, in Canada, and in the States, it's so fast paced. We need to work. We need to be able to provide. Nothing comes for free. What do you think of those two statements? Do you think that goes against what we're born into, or like what we are grown into, which is North American lifestyle, and we need to hustle because that is the only way to survive? Or do you think that to hell with it, right? I'm just quoting him here. I'm not saying that, but to hell with the hustle or the ruthless elimination of hurry. Like we need to eliminate hurry.
Well,
in our life.
I don't know.
To eliminate hurry, I see it every day. I don't know. To me, it goes back to the balance again. Like that middle ground is, I guess, a fine line that you have to be on. And like, you're right. In North America, it's like we're always hurrying. Like everything's fast paced. I don't know. Take out the hurry. It's
like
kind of hard.
Like I think at the end of the day, you're meant to work, no matter what that work is. Wherever God has placed you, you are, whether it's CEO of something or you're just starting out of your job. You work. Work is work. Right?
Okay, so
but
it's a balance, man.
It's not even just the balance, but it's the heart of it all. When you say hustle, what do you mean by hustle?
Okay,
because
it's like just work because that's what we need to do.
But what's the root? Because now we have to figure out what the root
you gotta pay the bills.
Hustle is.
You gotta pay the bills. You gotta have a house. You gotta put your kids through school. You gotta put money on. You gotta put food on the table. You gotta have money in the bank for retirement. Like.
But like when you look at it
in North America, when you have let's say when you have a job, right? Like let's just say I work. Okay, so when I used to work in retail, right, which is telecommunications, and telecommunications is fast-paced retail. It's not just like no shame to clothing retail, but telecommunications is fast-paced. Everything's always changing. There's always a new phone. There's always a new promotion. Always new plans. Always got to change. When you get thrown into that world or in that kind of space, there's no time for you to go on vacation. There's no time for you to take a weekend off because by the time you come back after 3 days, so many things have changed that you have fallen behind. And now how do you catch up? Right? So when I was in retail when I was in telecom for about 8 or 9 years, I never took a vacation. The farthest I went to was Blue Mountain with you guys for the weekend. I never went. I didn't go to any 7-day like trips. I never went to Europe. I never went back to the Philippines because I couldn't, or else I won't be able to provide for save up and provide for my family.
Well, like that's the thing too, right? Like I'm in your situation too, right? Like not taking a vacation, because then now it's just like if I take a vacation, God has put me here specifically here. No, him knowing that this is the type of work that needs to be done, and so I can't take a vacation. I'm just being a devil's advocate here, but how in my right mind can I say I need to step away right now and I need to take a vacation? But God put me here, so if I take a vacation, I'm basically saying, no, God, don't worry about it. I need these few days off. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I understand what you're trying to say. Like you're basically, but there's two spectrums to it, right? Like you already talked about the whole not working, and now we're talking about the workaholic, right? So now you got to look at where your mind is at. Okay, if your mind is strictly, it all comes down to when you work. Who are you working for? Where's your mind when you're working, right? So when I'm working, right, I make sure that I know that, yes, I have a boss, but I'm also working for God, right? Right? God also rested too. right? Like, right? He knows the value of rest, right? He also provides you with that rest. Like, I haven't taken, like, to be honest with you, like, I haven't taken a vacation like you, like, for a really long time, and I feel that way too, right? Like, I took a vacation actually, in maybe like July for like a week, and I came back to everything.
Yeah.
But I know I'm coming back to that, but knowing in my mind that God is going to sustain me through this job because He has placed me here, I tend not to feel the stress of I'm behind, right? So it's just where what I believe is where your mindset is, because the hustle is not on the mind of God. You're hustling, right? Because you're saying I need to provide, I need more, right? So that's not really. That's more of ambition than anything, right?
So what you're saying is that the hustle, quote unquote, or I guess it's just like it's if you take a vacation, it's fine because no matter what, God has put you there anyway.
Yeah, God has put you there, and like I've said to you, basically, if my time is done there, right? My time is done there. God has said, "You are done. Whatever I have set before you, not in terms of the work." Like that you are doing in terms of whatever your job and responsibilities, but whatever the work I've set you there to be has now your part is done, then it's done. Right? We are supposed to be content in what He can give us, right? Because God will never leave us nor forsake us, right? But like just be mindful of the fact that it's not you keeping you there, God is keeping you there.
Okay, so so now that we've established the importance of rest and the importance of having a balance, right? And you mentioned that even God took a rest day,
Yeah.
and we know that throughout all of Jesus' ministry, every single time that he delivers a sermon or whatever, after that he's just like, all right, I'm gonna bounce, I'm gonna go leave for a bit, and then the disciples have to follow him, and then the full flock follows him. So now we've established that that's important. Do you guys take Sabbath seriously? So do you guys know what Sabbath? You guys know what Sabbath is?
Yeah.
So Sabbath is your rest day, the day that God said for you not to work, because I've placed everything and I have made everything ready for you. So you need this time to get away and to just spend time with me. So we've established that rest is important. Do you guys take Sabbath seriously now? That's a serious question, because I speak to a lot of leaders in the church and any church, and a lot of pastors, right? A lot of pastors, and I ask them, is Sabbath important to you? Because to me and my family, Sabbath is one of the most important things in our walk. And so I want to know what your stance is on that.
Do you take Sabbath? Well, like
Not really. To answer your question, do I take it seriously? No.
Do you guys take one day out of the week to just? I don't like. It's not. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do anything. I'm not saying that you should just sit on your your butt at home watching
100%,
TV.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's just that you just don't. It's not you don't think about work or anything. You can have people over. You can have,
okay.
Dinner. You can have people, obviously, because that is dinner and or food around people and creating relationships. That was very important to Jesus Christ, because he did that all the time. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm saying is that you just, to me, our Sabbath looks like a lot of family time. A lot of reading the Word. We actually do communion every Sunday together as a family.
Nice.
You've been there before when we did communion.
Once or twice.
And we don't go on social media unless it's unless it's for like Life Church. Unless it's for like Life Church, we need to post something. But other than that, we personally we don't do any of that stuff. Do you guys take? I'm not saying that we take it seriously. I'm just taking. We're trying to go in that direction, right? Of making sure that everything that we do on our day of rest is intentional for God. Do you guys do that? And what would it take for you guys to start doing it if you guys don't already? I know that's a loaded question.
I mean, not to the point where I have dedicated days. But if there is a chance to just kind of like cool down, yeah, I find myself, just kind of like relaxing. But I mean, okay, here's my question. Like, let's say I have a day off, right? And people need help with their cars. Like, I just have the feeling that like I have to help them. I can't lie and say like, oh, I can't, like, I'm busy, even though it's like, oh, I picked this to be my Sabbath day or whatever, right? But they need help with their cars, right? Like, would you consider that work?
Well, I mean,
That's a good question.
What you remember when, what was it? They were walking along the fields, and the disciples were picking. Basically, they were working. They were harvesting.
They were harvesting. Yeah.
They're harvesting.
Yeah.
And then
the Pharisees got mad.
and said, "Why are you working on a Sabbath?"
Yeah.
And God's like, "Well, like if I do miracles and I do the work of God, right? I mean, again, it goes back to, the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe God is bringing them to you, right? So now you got to say, now am I intentionally going there to do God's work too? Which is, I don't know. I don't
totally,
correct me if I'm
So
wrong,
it goes
right?
back
So,
to like why you're doing it, like your
it's
heart,
always
your heart,
your mindset,
Yeah.
like.
But don't you think that can be considered a cop out? Because like I can say that that day is supposed to be my Sabbath, but then someone asked us to come and have lunch with them or have dinner with them and to spend time with them, and technically for me, right, since being a pastor, that's work.
That's
for
work.
me,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that then a cop out by me saying, well, I can do it, it's fine because it's not work, when technically, like, it is work. Like for him, like
It's
it's exactly the same question, right?
Yeah, it is. But again, if it's God's work
hard,
and He
yeah.
wants you to be there at that time, right? Like, who's to say? Like, I understand your question to actually set a day apart, right? But
yeah.
also the Sabbath is to set a day apart to focus on God. And everything, like, right? So why can't it be that too, right? Like, where the fact that maybe God's work needs to be done there, right? I don't know. That's just me, right? Like, so to answer your question about Sabbath and my family, we do our best, especially on Sunday, to just spend time with one another too. Like, we do it throughout the week, right? We do it throughout the week. Like, whenever we come home from work, it's just play, have fun, and do whatever, right? But Sundays we, sit at church together, make sure, try to help Lucas understand what church is and why we do it on the Sunday. So, like, that's our Sabbath, right? And like, if we have to go, like, somebody invites us, like, why not? That's fine. We can go there. But again, like, I believe it's what's your intent, or what's your mindset on, like, is your mind focused on God, right? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, because you can say like, okay, tomorrow's my Sabbath, but then you just lie around in the couch, like.
Yeah, right. Lie around on the couch, or you spend time with your family.
Yeah, it can
Right?
again. It can
Yeah.
go
It
the
can go
other.
both ways.
It can go the
Yeah.
other way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it always still will go back. I don't know about you guys, but I think for me, it'll always go back to where are my intentions and my thought processes. Because let's say you go the other spectrum, you're working on cars, right?
Yeah.
So what are you doing it for? Are you doing it for more money?
Money, or
Or are you doing it to help others and potentially talk to them and, push the word in, push the gospel in? Like, who knows, right?
Yeah.
Right? We, God has
tough.
plans.
It's a good conversation, but
Tough question, yeah.
it is. No, it is. Because totally. Because sometimes I end up doing something, because now that Life Church is launched, since we've launched, Mia actually literally, when was it? On Sunday was just like, we need to change our Sabbath day. It can't be on Sunday anymore, because I'm working now, and so she's gonna be working Monday to Friday, right? So we're trying to figure out when our Sabbath is gonna be, and so is it gonna be on a Saturday? Are we gonna continue on a Sunday? Because really, my work is just gonna be, our service.
Yeah.
And preparing for our service. But sometimes we'll be called into doing something else. But so we're trying to figure all that out. And the whole Sabbath thing is always a work in progress, I think, especially with our family, because it's just like it gets busy. We got to do stuff, and we need to be, now that we have like kids, we need to be intentional. We want to be intentional with spending time together as a family that's directed to God. That's our intention is to show God in that time that we have together as a family. So we're trying to work that out, and so that's why Sabbath has been a big conversation with us. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions or anything like that, any last words from you guys on this segment?
Keep your mind on God. Like really, like that's the only thing that I have to say. In anything you do. Oh, hey.
And disclaimer, we're not experts on any of these things. I think.
Well, if anything, he's
totally
probably like
that'll totally
he's
show.
the most experted guy.
But we're trying to, just have a conversation, and we're just trying to shed light on a few topics here to help you guys, and to flush out some of the ideas that we have and some of the thoughts that we have. But if you have any questions about Sabbath, if you guys I totally suggest and I totally urge you guys to take some time out during the week and actually not go away, but like take a step back from everything else in the world and immerse yourself in God, whether that's in family time or anything else. But yeah. That's
okay.
it. All right, we'll see you guys next one.